Hello everyone, Justice Watchag here with a new episode. How's everyone doing? Happy New Year. This is my first video in the year 2025. Yes, I did disappear. I've been focusing on other things. I'm let me watch how I talk. I'm manifesting. I'm going back to school to study law, but that's not what this video is about. This is about justice. All my videos are going to be about justice. It's going to be about getting justice for human beings on planet Earth where there is injustice. This is a new case that's coming into the media. I'm apologize in advance for anyone. I don't mean any respect if I mispronounce names, but this is a man. His name is Suchir Balaji, and the police were trying to say, or the local law enforcement authorities were trying to say that he committed suicide, and his family and members in the investigative journalist, noted investigative journalist, George Webb. I watched one of his videos, and they are saying that this looks more like a murder than a suicide. This person was a whistleblower, and there was some upcoming case or something where he was going to shed light on something. I don't know all the details. I'm very tech unsavvy, but I know that this is the way the world is going. This is all about open AI and Chat GPT and all these things with artificial intelligence. And he's apparently, from what I'm reading, I don't know, I'm just repeating what I'm reading and hearing, is this is someone that was something like a genius in tech. I wanted to find, oh, here it is. This is Open AI. I found this on X. I don't use Twitter or X or whatever this is called. I don't have a login because I haven't been using it. I'm not making a statement. I want to use it so that I can make these videos better and kind of be able to get into that, but I haven't been using it. And I wanted to show you about where the parents were saying, looks like he has some, that's the name George Webb that I was talking about. Here is it saying, Suchir Balaji's backup drive on OpenAI and testimony missing. There's in his apartment where he was, where they say he committed suicide, but it looks more like a murder. I've never heard of somebody, I did see some crime scene photos, and I've never heard of someone committing suicide and then dragging their body all around, bleeding. So that doesn't make any sense. This is, I'm trying to get this, and it's like interference on the screen. He had some kind of hard drive or something that was missing from his apartment. He was apparently a very neat and tidy person. And video I saw, the apartment, it looked like it had been ransacked. Death of Indian origin techie and OpenAI whistleblower Suchir Balaji in Silicon Valley has taken a controversial turn, with investigators and his family rejecting the official ruling of suicide. Balaji, a key figure in critical lawsuits against OpenAI and other tech companies, was found dead in his apartment under circumstances that investigative journalist George Webb has described as highly suspicious. In a detailed conversation with India Today News director Rahul Kenwal, Webb outlined the troubling findings from his on-ground investigation. He pointed to critical inconsistencies in the case, including blood patterns, signs of a struggle, and missing evidence. The apartment was ransacked. Blood trails suggest he was crawling out of the bathroom trying to seek help. Webb explained, noting that Suchir's injuries, including a gunshot wound, appeared more consistent with interrogation tactics than a suicide. I wanted to see if I could get a view of that apartment. I had a video that I had seen earlier today, and I wanted to see if I could show that. And I also read some things about his colleagues and people that knew him said he was pretty much a genius. So there was something he was trying to reveal. He was a whistleblower, and he turns up dead. Suicide, no history that I see in anything that I've read about him being depressed or saying that he's suicidal. And this is someone that was close with his family. Oh my goodness, here we go. We're coming up with these boxes. I'm trying to get a solid article. I apologize in advance. But let's see if we can get, this looks like the mother right here. OpenAI whistleblower death. This parents want to know what happened after a parent suicide. pumping it like a suicide. The parents aren't saying this was suicide. This is the narrative that's being strewn. Is keeps repeating suicide. I don't know why they all right off the bat they know it's a suicide without completing an investigation. I've not heard of anything like that. That you know what happened without doing an investigation first. They're certain that suicide, like they just know it's a suicide. That right there tells you something's not right. And for it to be okay, this is one of them. I think this is the no, that's something different. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's something completely different. Let me get that off there. Do any of you all know about OpenAI and Chat GPT and artificial intelligence and how that's going to impact every industry in probably everything from healthcare, manufacturing, engineering, customer service, research, everything in the world? Cars, automated driving, trains, planes, yachts, boats, everything. It's going to have, this is going to have a hand in all of the world. So I'm not tech savvy, but I'd like to know, maybe you all can say in the comments if you know something about OpenAI and artificial intelligence and what this person was trying to expose. I'm going to keep researching and I'm wanting justice. And I don't know why a company would kill someone who is a whistleblower. It looks like if they were to, unless they're government behind the scenes, that they know they won't never get caught and won't never get investigated. I've never heard that you rather have a murder in your company rather than just the person disappeared, say whatever they have to say and be discredited. I mean, murder seems like an awful lot. Let us see. Let me see if I can play this. One of these videos was actually really good, and I want you to hear it if you can. Hold on. But I'm going to
When I started drinking warm water to help me lose weight, my friends laughed at me. But when they saw how fast
Ever since India Today carried the interview of Purnima Rao, the grieving mother of Suchir Balaji, the techie who was found dead in Silicon Valley in mysterious circumstances, just a few days after he raised his voice against the malpractices being followed by artificial intelligence companies, several questions have been swirling in the air around the circumstances that led to Suchir's death. This is a story that's resonated very deeply with our audience, and we're joined now from near San Francisco in Silicon Valley by George Webb. He's an investigative journalist who's been looking at this case on the ground very closely. Mr. Webb, you've had an opportunity to go to the apartment where Suchir Balaji stayed. You've spoken to the parents. You've also looked at what the private investigator hired by the family has said. Give our viewers your understanding at this moment of how and why Indian origin techie Suchir Balaji died.
Well, I published some of the videos that I took, and you can see this is the doorway that we think the person came through. They don't have cameras there. You can see this is coming into the apartment of Suchir Balaji. You can see the blood comes out of the bathroom area all the way into the apartment. He's normally a very fastidious person. It's ransacked. The apartment's ransacked, obviously. He also did not leave a suicide note. He was very close to his mother and father, so that doesn't make any sense. He was eating, as you can see there, up until the last minutes. He had a very nice phone call with his parents this evening on November the 22nd. You can see you could access in the garage there, so there's a camera there. But going down this hallway, people were coming and going. Every time I've gone to the location 5 or 6 times, people coming and going. But as you get into the bathroom, you'll see clearly that he had been hit from behind or pushed from behind, and his nose had hit the sink. You could see the blood on the sink, and then when he stands up, you can see the blood droplets coming down like rain droplets from his nose, and then he's turned around. He's turned around and made to sit, I believe. That's what the investigator said. And as he's being interrogated with a gun to his forehead, between his eyes, which is an interrogation position. It's not a suicide position. Nobody shoots themselves like that. And then he's shot between the eyes a little bit to the right eyebrow, and the bullet misses the brain. Nobody misses their own brain when they're trying to commit suicide. And then the bullet lodges in the C1 to C2 vertebra, He then starts crawling, and you can see clearly there's only one place the blood can come out, and that's the hole in the entry wound in his forehead. There's only one place it can come out, and that's in front of him. And you can see clearly 3 distinct pools of blood going out and into the hallway, as you see in your photos here. And he crawls through all those pools of blood trying to get out of the bathroom. Now, no one who's committing suicide is trying to make a death crawl to get to safety or get help. That just nothing here makes any sense in terms of a suicide.
Why do you think the California police was so quick to call this a case of suicide instead of probing the murder angle? And how have they reacted ever since the parents published and spoke about the details of a private investigator's report? What's really going on the ground in California, according to you?
Well, I think the two things that made them kind of rush to judgment, the San Francisco Police Department, was the door, as you saw. You need a key lock, key card tap to get in, but people can come and go, people with dogs, people going in back and forth. So we saw people coming and going all the time without tapping in. But the fact that he did not have a forced entry into his tap entry system in his apartment, they said, well, no forced entry, therefore it has to be a suicide. They supposedly only deliberated 14 minutes, which is an incredibly short period of time. So they didn't confirm that his hand actually had the resin on it for shooting the weapon. They didn't confirm the bullet matched to the gun, the ballistics. They didn't do the ballistics checking that you would normally do in a murder case. They didn't take into account the no suicide note. They didn't take into account that the apartment had been ransacked. Most importantly, they didn't take into account that a drive that Suchir was making while he was on a vacation, this was his birthday, was the day before. He was making a backup device, and the backup device is now missing from the house. This was the backup device that he was preparing for the New York Times. He had a meeting coming up with the New York Times for discovery in the lawsuit of the New York Times versus OpenAI. OpenAI is Chat GPT. So there's a lot of things here where he was named as a witness only a week before as the star witness in the New York Times case, as well as 3 other lawsuits. So there's a lot of things and clouds hanging over this in a very important lawsuit that you would, and a very young man who was very happy on this camping trip, you would look into that. As an investigator, you would say this doesn't make sense.
But if at all, and the insinuation that I heard from mother, and you seem to be suggesting that as well, is that someone associated with the AI tech industry was in some way involved with this murder. They wanted to suppress what Suchir Balaji was allegedly trying to reveal. If that's the case, it is the most sensational murder case in a very long time. But why do we...
How to turn a chilly 50-degree room into a comfortable 73 degrees in...
I apologize for all those interruptions with advertising, but I thought it was important to kind of get an idea of why this is so outrageous. And I'm hoping and I'm willing, that's all I can do. I have no power in this society, but I wish to have it because I wish for justice. I want justice for victims of heinous crimes, such as murder in this case. So this sounds like it's ridiculous. Somebody hidden behind the scenes has killed this young man who is about to give testimony into something with technology, and I want to further investigate and find out some more details for why this has happened and who to go and look at. I really think getting to what is OpenAI, who is behind OpenAI, and I know that they're going to say on here that it's like a private company or something like that, one of these Silicon Valley places, but at the end of the day, its government is the fuel behind all this. I don't know if you all are familiar with DARPA. I'll just type it in. It's an agency that is behind the internet and GPS and all the satellites and all the technological advances. They work through private industries, contractors, universities to develop all these big advances that have been happening, technological advances, and they have military uses for a lot of these things. Like, for example, having a remote control or a drone, not even just remote control, just using AI technology. I bet they could do a lot with drones that can fly themselves and discover things behind enemy lines. I'm just using this as an example. All the things don't have nefarious, like, war uses. Some things are, there's other things too. I'm just throwing it out there that to me this seems like some dark, shadowy character that didn't have very much fear about getting caught that killed this young man. And he needs to have justice, and I hope that there will be some coverage of this so that it doesn't get swept under the rug and all forgotten about, that this young man lost his life because he was going to speak out about something they were doing with OpenAI, something maybe they were asking him to do that wasn't right, or that a project that he's working on. OpenAI, and then this causes other people not to speak up when stuff is happening. We can't be ruled by people in the shadows that are willing to kill somebody because they want to testify about something that is wrong. That is absolutely outrageous. I'm off my high horse now, but I did want to have something to say. I'm going to make more videos. I want to make them better. My editing skills, my tech skills, everything is not good, but I'm going to improve and get better. And I want you all to bear with me. It was nice talking to you all for 2025. Welcome this new year. I hope it brings you peace, joy, abundance, and good things. And most of all, I hope that this new year brings justice. Peace.